Welcome to the Bear Pit Pod. We're back.
Yeah.
We're back after... We failed to mention last week our fancy new little setup, by the way, this TV screen.
Did we not mention it?
No, we didn't.
We've got a lovely... It's not ours, it's in the studios and we've kind of hijacked it, but a lovely 4K.
Big TV.
I assume it's 4K.
For those of you who are listening, sorry you can't see this visual masterpiece before our eyes.
I think it gives the podcast, certainly the visual version of it anyway, a real kind of uplift. Looks good. Nice bright red.
Nice bright red. Nice big Bear Pit. Yeah. With sponsors, give them some extra coverage. Last week we had Ben Nixon on, physio, went down well. You know,
Very
gave some great insight into some of the injuries, what goes on behind the scenes, which was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
It was good, wasn't it? It was good. I mean, I could have asked so many more questions, but you don't want to kind of pry too much into kind of the world of Stoke City because I don't want to get in the shit.
You gave him a few digs about being Vale.
I know. Well, I don't know. It works. And what's your thoughts? Briefly, completely off the agenda already, but what's your thoughts on Port Vale, who are currently 91st? I don't mean
loving it
now, but do you despise the club? Do you don't give a shit?
Loving it.
Slightly.
They are closer in the Football League to League Town.
I saw that.
Stoke City.
Which I think that's about right, isn't it?
And did you see the little video of Sam having his dance?
Yeah, a little dance, didn't he?
Singing, "Whoa, Vale are bottom."
Yeah.
They're not bottom anymore, but it was an enjoyable experience.
Bonkers, that, innit? 91st.
Crazy.
I think in some warped way that if Stoke can stay in the Prem and Vale maybe even go down, we could actually develop into a bigger club, Stoke, with future generations of fans and stuff. Because I think, I'm right in saying, I think that Stoke, the city, is the smallest city in England to have two professional clubs in. So cheers, Vale. We'd be a lot bigger if one for them.
Yeah. Get a lot more of those kiddies what would have supported Vale over to Stoke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We'll have them all.
Yeah.
Some master city ownership.
Master City ownership.
I don't know what I was going to try and make something on. I didn't know what to say. Now, we've just come off the back of the international break. How do you feel about international breaks, especially ones like that? That last one had absolutely nothing going on for me. There was the Luxembourg shocker 0-0 draw with France.
Yeah,
ooh,
fine.
Celebrating a 0-0 draw.
I don't mind England. I mean, my fondest memories of England was when I was younger. You're 96. I remember stupidly fondly. It was a brilliant tournament, and I look back on that squad and that team and think there's some real heroes in there. France 98 was all right, but then it's generally kind of declined since that point. And with every week, or rather with every international break that occurs, I find myself less and less interested in what England do. And I don't think that's necessarily because I don't want England to do well. It's just purely because it's taking Stoke away from my weekend. I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah. If something's getting away of Stoke, be it international football or shopping or whatever, I take grievance to that thing, and it just happens to be the England national team.
Yeah, they do seem to get in the way a fair bit, and the older I get, the more disenfranchised I get with them, and just fall out of love with them. I say this, I went France last summer, so did you. I'm probably going to go to the World Cup. We're chatting a load of whammy here, aren't we?
Well, a little bit. I mean, undeniable. When I went to France last year, it was a great trip. I went to the England-Russia game.
Apart from the bit where I nearly got murdered a couple of times.
Marseille was a bit hairy,
Marseille was so rough.
That was a bit hairy.
I said this to a couple of my mates. Stoke could get into the Europa League final and it being held in Marseille, and I would have to have second thoughts about going. That's how bad it was.
I'd give it this much though. That stadium, the Velodrome, is that its name?
Yeah.
That was probably the best round I've ever
very
been.
Nice
Phenomenal.
Very
done
nice
that nicely.
It's just a shame about what goes on everywhere around.
I know, it's bonkers. We were completely off the agenda here, but riot police, Russians, locals. We went to watch a bit of football.
I know, yeah.
And then they scored in the last minute just to top it off. But yeah, despite me going to France, international football just generally gets in the way of Stoke. Thus, I take a bit of grievance to it.
And especially when decisions like Jack Butland not good enough to start against Joe Hart is somehow logical. Is Gareth Southgate taking a load of cocaine, or is he on drugs? What's wrong with him?
I don't know.
It says that Joe Hart is the best keeper England have at the moment.
Yeah,
is he deluded?
I don't get it. Joe Hart has been on a gradual decline now for several years. He's been making mistakes here and there. He did over in Italy.
He did mistakes in the Euros, Wales game, Iceland game. A goal went past him easily. Yeah. He was the second worst keeper in Serie A last year. Yeah, conceded one of the most goals in the league. It's daft mistakes. There was like 3 or 4 really daft mistakes. Yeah, he's conceded 10 goals in 3 games for West Ham. And I think the goal he conceded last night was a bit of a shocker. The first one. Rashford was a bit at fault, but it went through Joe Hart. And he turned his back to it as well.
And you know what I thought?
And he was so slow off his line.
Butland, this right. Oh yeah, Butland made a very similar save against Arsenal, if you remember.
Butland's out quick, spreads himself, he's out fast. Joe Hart stuttered, got there, and then he turned his face, wasn't really committed, and it went through the gap between his leg and his arm. I
think Butland should have definitely started this one. I'm going to give Southgate the benefit of one last go with Joe Hart this time, but if Butland, or at least not even Butland, if one of the other lads doesn't start ahead of Joe Hart next time, he is bonkers.
Yeah,
that's got to be if Joe Hart now, really.
I know we're biased, and obviously we all want Jack Butland to start. But I'd even take Pickford, or obviously Pickford was injured, so he couldn't this time round. But I'd even take someone else being in there, or you know they have a game each. But just to show this absolute out of touch opinion that Joe Hart is England's best keeper right now.
He's not.
He's just 100% not.
And Southgate went to the Arsenal game. I thought Jack was probably our man of the match in hindsight. He was fantastic in that game. He's commanding, made some great saves. Completely baffled by that.
And this has been England's downfall. England's downfall has always been picking players on reputation over actual form and how well they're playing and doing right now. Yeah. And it will be England's downfall. We'll go into another competition, and if Joe Hart's the number one goalkeeper, he'll do it again. He's doing it all the time now. He's doing it regularly. He's regularly shit. And the sooner that Gareth Southgate wakes up and realises this, the better.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't fill me with much confidence. No. I mean, he was in a pizza Hut advert with a bag on his head getting the piss taken out of him. He likes to drink water.
To be fair,
on weekends. He's not a great manager.
He was great in that advert. I saw some real potential of his acting skills, if I'm honest. But no, I agree. It's got to be Butland, or at least Pickford, or someone else next time. Joe Hart's done for me. I'm still wound up that Ryan never got a shot for England. That sticks with me still. I agree, maybe not the past 2-3 years, but around 2010, 2011-ish, 2012, he should have been given more of an opportunity. That sticks with me.
One game against Zlatan, he was on fire, and it wasn't really fair.
He got 4 goals, for God's sake. He was great. I mean, that shouldn't deter him. Do you know what?
That, as well, was, I swear to God, if I remember this correctly, that was a stupid header from Joe Hart coming out.
He got lobbed from about 40 yards from an over.
Yeah, I swear he came out to clear it with his head.
I think he did. I can't remember now.
I don't know if I'm right or not, but I just hate Joe Hart. I trended on Twitter last night.
Did you?
I trended in Liverpool because I've tweeted this joke 4 times, so it says a lot about the guy. I said Joe Hart couldn't save a Word document. I think it's on like 2,000 retweets.
That's good. I've never trended on Twitter.
Have you not?
No, my presence isn't that great.
I'll teach it
on that platform.
I'm angry. I'm a bit riled up.
I mean, I'm annoyed Butland didn't start, but I'll get on with it. But you seem a lot more wound up than I am.
I'm very wound up. I mean, when he came out with, because I have to, I have to read these quotes. I have to put them on the page. I gauge a lot of people's opinion.
Yeah.
No one can understand it.
It is baffling.
Even non-Stoke fans, people of all persuasions, even West Ham fans, can't understand it. That quote can't even understand him saying that Joe Hart's the best keeper England have at the minute, because he's definitely.
I reckon Southgate's gone to him. Look, we're going to give you one more shot to prove yourself. You've had a reasonable history of England, reasonable. One more go, take it how you will, and he's not taking it anyway.
I don't think he's got the balls to say that.
You don't think?
No.
Time will tell.
Time will tell, and hopefully he has some horrendous. Hopefully he has some horrendous form for West Ham until the next international break, which is 7th of October.
Yeah.
But he's already in horrendous form.
Will
that change anything?
It has to. I've not really formed any opinion on Southgate as the England managers yet, but one of the clearest things that he's not up to the task is if Hart starts next game for England, that is a massive question mark for me.
Yeah.
Massive question mark.
Bring back Big Sam. 100% win record. Pints of wine, gravy for breakfast.
Honestly, I was gutted he went. I really was excited by his
I was excited about Big Sam.
He's just a bit different, wasn't he? A bit of passion. I think he would have got the best out of what England are at the moment. And that's another. We'll do that on our England podcast.
Yeah.
Big Sam and all that. But yeah, gutted about that one. I've got over it. Don't get me wrong, but I was gutted.
When you said in England podcast, have you signed me up to something I don't know, Craig?
No, just a little gag. We don't do an England podcast, as you can tell.
Yeah, we don't do an England podcast, but we will be doing, or I will at least be doing England coverage for the Bearpit TV next summer, because I plan to be at the World Cup.
Is that via your work?
Yeah.
And I said last podcast that you're going to take me with you.
Yeah, I'll try.
I'm going to say it again now. Even though I don't think that's remotely on the cards, but I'm going to pester.
I'll do my best.
I'm going to pester for that.
But I don't think I've got the budget for that. But
find it.
We'll go on to the transfer window now and give it a little round up, because obviously there's been, like, when we've sat here and put it onto paper, we've actually realised there's been a bit of a turnover.
There hasn't there? There's not been as much ins as I thought, because I feel like the season really, you can sit down, look at the squads when the deadline day closes, and then you can really look and analyse what are we going to like this season. And I think it feels like a very appropriate time to do it.
So let's run through them all and give a little rating or thoughts on each. So out, Bojan, out on loan after Mark Hughes said he was going to be on his plans, but we don't seem to be playing a number 10, so which I can sort of understand. But I still feel a little aggrieved.
I'm gutted he's gone. I mean, how many times on this podcast we all remember that brief spell in the first season, 3-4 months. I generally agree with it, although 1 or 2 injuries in the attacking third of the pitch, and we might need that cover. But then Bojan doesn't want that, does he? He clearly wants to start games, and I reckon this has been Bojan that's pushed this move more than Hughes pushing him out this time. And if that's the case, so be it.
So be it.
It's a shame. Just a massive what could have been for little Bojan. He's still a Stoke City player, but I think that is it now. That's it. He won't be coming. This time next year, he won't be a Stoke City player.
No, definitely.
He'll go. I know he's only on loan.
He's already got in his Twitter bio former Stoke player.
Has he?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thanks for the memories, Bojan. Honestly, I mean that. I'm sounding sarcastic.
It sounded very sarcastic.
It wasn't because. Oh God, that day in Rochdale. What could have been, eh?
I know.
Who knows? He might be Man United player now if it wasn't for that day in Rochdale. Not that I wish the injury on him to prevent him doing that.
Liverpool was the big.
Yeah, there was a lot. Even the Spanish team were apparently stiffing, considering a recall for him again. I think it was just fine at the time. He was phenomenal.
And they probably would have recalled him. They just recalled David Villa, who's about 85.
Yeah,
anyone who's in a bit of form.
Yeah, I agree.
Next up, on the outs list, Gianelli. Off to Toulouse in France.
I think his relation with
completely broke down.
Not worth it. I agree as well. Get rid of him.
But do we, after spending 18 million on him, does that have to be classed as a failure for Cartwright, Hughes, the scouting team? Yeah. Everyone who thought it was a good idea to go and splash 18 million on him.
I think it was. I mean, the fact that he went for big money from Marseille to Porto. And then he was. There was a
lot of bad press around him at Porto.
Pulis wouldn't have done that, and I'm not bigging up Pulis too much here, but Pulis did his research on players.
It had to be a Pulis DNA.
That wouldn't have happened under Pulis. I'm not saying bring him back or anything stupid like that, so don't quote me like that. And that just shows going that little bit further, the extra mile to look into, because this isn't tenner. 20 quid you're spending. This is 18 million. If I was buying something for 18 million, if I was buying a telly for 18 million, I'd do my research.
Yeah,
and I don't think we did enough, to be honest.
Well, there was a lot of stories. I remember the Porto president coming out and a quote about how he could be a Lamborghini, but he's got the mindset of a Formula.
Yeah,
something along those lines. I've completely made that quote up. Something along those lines. But yeah, it just didn't work out.
Shame.
And another one who I don't think will be back.
No, agree. Shame, because similar to Bojan, there's a few months towards it. Well, within his first season where he looked wicked. I was buzzing. I said to that many mates who weren't Stoke fans, we've got the next tour in our hands, and I thought that. I really did. I thought he's phenomenal.
He showed a lot of promise, and there is a player. No doubt, there's a player.
Definitely.
In there.
And I don't know what's going on, but I put that one down as a transfer that went tits up.
Yeah,
unfortunately, but I'll file under that.
Next up is Hosselu. This is out of all the ones that have gone, this is the most worrying one for me. Because he's hit the ground running at Newcastle. Yeah. He came on, looked promising in the first or second game. Third game scored, got himself on the score sheet. I feel like the Spanish link up with Benitez. He's been playing. He's starting him now. He's the focal point of their side. I worry that Benitez is going to get the most out of him, and it's going to be.
I do worry. It's going
to be a real one that comes back to bite us.
I do worry as well.
5 million as well.
Snip. And you look back on his Stoke career, and he wasn't ever given a prolonged run in the team. It's not like he played 20 games on the bounce and was shit. At worst he was okay. That's at worst. He was either he had a good game or he was all right. He was never bad.
And he was in and out, and he scored.
He generally scored. When you look at a formation that we're obviously persisting with this 3 up front, I think he fits the bill on paper. He's reasonably strong. He's good in the air. He can bring the ball down. He seems to fit this perfect lone striker position that we're after. I don't get that one really. I can only assume it didn't click with Hughes, or something just didn't work, because I don't know what I'm missing there. Obviously, I need a bit more insight into the dressing room to really understand that one, but that's an error. That's an error for me,
yeah. Same. I mean, I've been quite vocal about it on Twitter or wherever already, but yeah, I really worry about that one. I think it'll suit Newcastle's style of play as well. And Benitez is really going to put his faith behind it. Which
Because who have we got now up front? We've got us, Berahino, who's been dropped almost. Crouchy, who doesn't seem to be in the plans to be a starter.
And then an interchange of Hesse, Chupo.
They're not strikers, are they? No. So basically, we're left with
Juve. If he ever gets away from
I feel Juve. I suppose we're getting on to something else there. Yeah, it's worrying. We should have kept Hosselu.
So Hosselu is one we would have kept out of those. Next up is Mark Muniesa off to Girona. Another on loan. Never really worked out.
He won't come back.
I don't think he will.
And I completely agree with this one. Purely because he's too injury prone. What can you do? I think that's quite a simple one for me. Shame.
He could never really nail down a particular place. No. Was he a centre back? Was he a left back? Was he a wing back?
I think he was a centre back probably, but he was too injury prone. Good footballer, a little bit too weak. Not the best tackler, considering he's a defender, and ultimately massively injury prone.
But he was a very, very good guy.
Well, yeah, he was a lovely bloke, and that's what you need in a first 11 Premiership player.
Yeah,
to be a nice guy.
Doesn't win you
games.
That's
why we got Crouchy.
But he will. If that is his last days at Stoke, he will be sort of a cult hero.
He will.
Fondly.
He will.
The
I
dancing.
I feel like I some players who are better, but never get that sort of status.
Yeah,
like he's that song will stick forever.
Yeah, it will. I mean, it'll probably still be sung this season.
Mo hasn't wormed his way into a cult song as well. I don't think that was justified.
Did he even play? Did he ever play a game?
I don't think so. It may have come on in the League Cup. If someone can answer that, I don't know.
Next up, we lost our all-time leading Premier League scorer in John Walters to Burnley for a snip at $3 million. I mean, with that one, for me, I don't see any benefit in selling him for $3 million.
I think this was more a case of Walters thinking, I need to get out.
For full-time.
Yeah, and if that's the case, you hold your hands up and you let the player go. But if it was purely down to me, and I think Hughes as well, I think Hughes in an ideal world would have kept him and been honest, said, look, you won't start every game, but you're valuable to this squad. And Walters has gone, no, I'm sorry, I want first-team football, and I completely get that. Absolute hero of Stoke. I'd have kept
Will he get it at Burnley now? They brought Chris Wood.
I don't know. I did think that. I don't know. He might be looking at himself, Walters, now thinking, flipping heck, I've just moved to get first-team football, and
they've brought Chris Wood.
I agree. I don't think that's guaranteed at all, and I feel a bit bad for Walters because I think he deserved a decent run. He needed to be treated as that first 11 player somewhere in the Prem because I think he works hard enough for it. He's never quite got it. He did here and there under Pulis, a bit under Hughes, but he's never been really cemented as a starting player, has he?
No.
Really. He had little runs
he had a great run. Probably the year of the FA Cup.
Yeah.
The year after that as well. He is our all-time leading Premier League goal scorer, but he'll go down in Stoke history.
Mm-hmm. He will. He will. But I would have kept him, but I completely understand why.
Another cult hero.
And he hasn't got Super Johnny Walters, a bit of a lame cop-out song that for me. Like a template song.
Just the things he did on Twitter or around the dressing room. He's been involved in that pighead story.
Yeah.
I mean, in that way, he probably will be. Next up, Philly Bardsley, another one off to Burnley. I mean, I'd have kept him and let Glenn Johnson go.
I agree, I would have kept. I think Bardsley didn't get enough credit for his attacking credentials. I thought he was a better footballer than people gave him credit for, and I think he would have worked all right as a wing back actually. So yeah, I would have kept him.
I think that was a mistake.
I think it was, but then you don't know what the situation was. There might have been nothing for Glenn Johnson. There might have been loads of bids for Bardsley, and so you have to take what's on the table sometimes. If that was the case, fair enough. If they actively pushed for Bardsley to go, that's a mistake. Johnson should have been the one to go, but I don't know, time will tell.
I'm a bit worried about our right-back situation.
Got Juve, don't worry, it's fine.
Juve interchangeable with Glenn Johnson and the youngster Tom Edwards, but I don't think that's strong enough.
No, it's not at all. Bardsley should have stayed. 100% sure. I don't know what happened behind in the background, but Bardsley should have stayed for that one all day long.
I think it hurts me because I think we're so close from having a very solid team, but those wing back positions,
they are a bit.
And after we're persisting with that formation, you'd have liked to have seen those strengthened.
Although I do want to see, and I think this has been mentioned every week on the OK message board, of course, and I agree with this. I think Sobey can fit one of them vacancies. I think he's a good enough defender.
He could do the right way.
I think he's young, he's athletic. He's really intelligent football. He's good on the ball. He's good at tracking back. I think he's a reasonable defender for a winger. I think he could do a job there. Whether he'll want to, I don't know. But I think there's an option there.
We'll have to sacrifice a lot of his attacking talents there.
Yeah,
we've lost the screen.
We've lost a backdrop for the YouTube people.
Maybe if I press the key.
But yeah, I going back to Bardsley. Wouldn't have let it happen, but you never know why a certain transfer occurred.
Yeah,
there we go.
Agreed. Next up, another Philly. Philly Walshide.
All day long. See you later. Bye, mate. Cheers.
Off to FC Mets. Did you see the announcement video that they did for him?
I think I caught the tail end of it.
It was very dramatic.
It's a bit over the top for a player of that standard. Yeah, it's not Pele or Maradona.
But he's gone. He's a goner.
I mean, I don't like to be overly critical of any player that's played for Stoke, unless they've done the dirty on the club or something like that. But he was poor.
You hated him.
He made too many mistakes for a Premiership player. He was too casual on the ball, and I'm more than happy to see him depart. Is that on loan?
No, he's done.
He's gone
out his contract or whatever. He's gone.
Brilliant, fine.
It was a loan, but they've just seen his contract off.
Yeah. Cheers for the memories, Philip. Good luck in the Bundesliga.
He did have that great game in the semi-final at Liverpool.
He did actually, yeah.
He did very well.
He did play well.
And I will give him his dues. He did play well.
Yeah, he did.
Because a lot of people forget that.
Yeah.
Next up, I made a bloody sad video about him leaving Glenn Whelan. Just short of a testimonial after Aston Villa.
I know. I was originally dead against it, and I still am to a certain point, but what I've seen of Darren Fletcher so far, I generally...
makes up for it.
It does. I generally agree with it. If we'd not got Fletcher in, I'd have been dead against that, because I thought he was okay last season. I really did, but Fletcher's a step up. And I'm a big Whelan fan, but Fletcher's
he's shown his class.
Yeah, but good luck to Glenn. You are a Stoke City
hero.
Good
luck to Glenn. Hopefully he can get Villa up.
I'd love to see him back at Stoke.
I'd like to see Villa back just for that.
That round of applause.
No.
Oh.
No, fuck a round of applause for
Glenn.
A legend. No, seriously, I'd do that as well. But I meant they've got a lovely little away sort of zone for fans. Yeah, this little tent at a pub near the ground, and it's bloody brilliant.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been Villa for years.
It was very good. Last time I went when they were in the league. Lastly, boo hiss. That's me making a snake noise.
That was a good impression. Is that an adder? You know what? This isn't like sour grapes or anything. I genuinely think we've won on this transfer. Yes, we've lost a player that was okay for a little bit inconsistent. 25 million for 28, soon to be 29-year-old. It's great money. I think we've got enough quality in the right area of the pitch to replace what Arnie was in Hesse or Chipo or whatever. I think that is brilliant business. I'm really happy with that.
And it could not have got off to a sweeter start with a red card, an awful performance in the first game, and they are now sat bottom of the league.
0 points.
With 0 points.
So I'm really happy with that.
Potentially out.
Yeah.
That's all the talk is of at the minute, along with De Boer at Palace. But there's your ambition.
I mean, are you sad to see Arnie go at all? Ignore the fact
I was originally angry, just the way he went about it. There was no class.
But as a player, do you think we'll miss him? Do you think
I do think we miss him a little bit, if I'm honest. I think we missed the drive and the skill and technique. But we have replaced him with Hesse, who's hopefully up to speed soon, can do a very similar job, chipping with some goals as well.
Yeah.
But I would like to have seen us get maybe one more attacking player in. I think we're a little short.
Potentially. With Bojan going, we're a little bit short, but
yeah.
All in all, the Arnie transfer, fine.
That is the outs. I think there might be a few we've missed, but they can't matter if we've forgotten.
Not really.
Shay Given.
Retired, didn't he? Yeah. Thanks, Shay.
Cheers for the memory, Shay.
Yeah.
4 every game. Inns. Daz Fletcher, first up.
Ace.
He's been brilliant.
He's
shown a real class. We've already spoke about that. He did come back from the international break, maybe injured. He had to leave.
He never gets injured as well.
I know. We literally said last week on the pod he never gets injured.
He's not missed a league game in 3 years.
We jinxed it. Well, apparently he will be back for Man United.
Okay, that's fine. But yeah, brilliant. I'm so happy with that. I think that could be the signing of the summer. I really do. Amazing signing.
Tom on the Stats show actually did a video about that's probably our best summer signing. So.
Yeah, completely. It annoyed me at the time because a lot of Stoke fans were moaning on it. Because it wasn't called Fletcherinho from Brazil or something. Because it was a British player, he was 33, it was instantly shite in some people's opinions, which is rubbish. Great signing, well played. The management team, amazing.
Yeah, well done. Another well done to the team was Bruno getting him on a permanent after the fiasco saga that went on for so long. When we could have.
What did we get him for in the end?
7.
It's alright.
They wanted 13. They did shave 3 million off, but
hold your hands up. I think that's fine.
He wasn't here for pre-season. Might take a little bit of time to gel.
Maybe. But he did pre-season with Porto, didn't he?
Yeah, he did a pre-season with Porto. It's not with us.
And it's not like he's a new player that needs to settle.
He's been here before. So we'll take that as a win.
I think give a little tip your hat to Scholes there. Tony Scholes, 3 million saved for whatever else, the new corner or whatever. I think that's well played. It'd be enough stick. But I think
corner cost a bit more than $3 million.
Did it?
I'd guess. Next up is Hesse. We've spoken about this one a little as well. He was very bright against Arsenal, scored on his debut. It was a bit quiet against West Brom. I don't think it helped, though, the situation of the game.
No.
I think Man United could be another chance for him to shine again this week.
I think there'll be quite a lot of space for him because we won't have the ball that often against Man United.
It could be another backs to the wall.
It could be an Arsenal repeat. Yeah, it could be. But yeah, no, happy with that, obviously. So far, so good.
The only thing that irks me about that is we haven't got an option at the end.
I know.
That's a bit of a...
I know. You watch him have a wonder season and go to bloody Tottenham or someone. That could easily
That's
happen.
the worry. That's the worry.
But there we go.
You never know. Maybe we could do something very un-Stoke and sign him in January.
Maybe.
Probably not going to happen.
I wouldn't hold your breath,
Yeah,
but you never know.
I won't. Chupu.
Chupu,
Po, Cho, however you say it. None of us have still grasped it.
I said last week, and people put in the comments how you say it, and there must have been like 3 or 4 ways people have put it phonetically in the comments, and none were the same, so I'm still none the wiser. But you weren't that blown away with his West Brom performance. I thought he was solid and good.
And I thought he was awful.
I thought he was fine. I really did. And I also thought he was great against West Ham, Arsenal. I thought he was strong, clever with the ball.
I think
technically better than I thought he'd be.
At West Brom, I got very frustrated with how easily he was going down. And
did you?
Also, I think he was quite... I didn't think he seemed to do much in possession. It was, a step over or a little turn, and then he just ended off laying it back to Harry Peters. Or I thought he could have been a bit more positive.
Maybe. You know what I reckon? Completely gut feeling it. I sense a cult hero coming our way in that guy.
In Chupa?
Yeah, I do. Basing that on what, 100... I'm trying to bloody work it. 180 minutes of football so far. Couldn't do my maths then. I really sense we're going to get a decent cult player there. Right. I don't know why, but I think there's a real player in there, and that's what makes it easy for me to lose Arnie. I know it's slightly different positions here and there, but yeah, we've got something. I really got a good feeling about him.
I've just realised I missed someone off this sheet, so we will say him next. Kurt Zuma on loan.
Speaking of cult, I mean, we are going to have him for one season, that is accepted, but he's already got the big Zoom sort of chant, and he's an absolute...
he's a great...
massive.
He's a great attitude in the dressing room, seems to be lifting up a lot of people. He's recording silly videos, singing, and just seems like a positive influence.
He does. Great signing. It's such a shame that we can comfortably say...
Another one, a shame we'll lose. Oh, yeah. He definitely won't come.
Not in a million years. He signed a Chelsea contract.
6-year deal.
Yeah, so I think... Yeah, that's not happening. But nonetheless, let's enjoy it while we've got him. But a brilliant signing.
Maybe you never know. Why am I being so positive? You never know. He goes back, and they loan him out again. That's what Chelsea do. They farm players.
I know.
You never know. Could loan his to him again.
Business they've got on the side, isn't it?
Yeah,
amazing. A better football than I thought he'd be as well.
Yeah, very athletic.
He's one of my most positive players against West
Brom. He was
Brom.
against. He had a couple of shots, drove forward. Maybe we'd try him in a defensive midfield position.
I think so.
Now we've got so many defenders.
Right wing back.
Or right wing back.
Potentially.
Do we do that? Now we've got... We may as well go on to the next one. Kevin Wimmer.
It's Wimmer and not Wimmer, is it? Wimmer.
I'm guessing.
Makes more sense, Wimmer, doesn't it? He's Austrian, isn't he? I don't know yet.
18 million. We had Flav on the from the Fighting Cock Tottenham podcast. He's actually been on this podcast, hasn't
he? He has, actually. I text Flav from the Spurs podcast when we got him.
And he did a video for us, and he said he doesn't know that much about him. He came in and stepped in for Alderweireld when he was injured, and did a solid job. But he says he really doesn't know what made his price go from 4 to 18 million.
It's a lot of money, isn't it? Well, I text Flav and said, "What do you reckon?" And he came out with this in-depth summary. So bear with me. He's all right, good defender, no pace, good left foot. So that's the sort of insight we were getting.
He said to me, he's very thick.
Thick was what? As in not smart?
As in stocky.
Stocky,
built.
Yeah.
Says he's very thick. I think he's maybe quite similar to Shawcross.
I am a tad worried by his price, because I've spoken to obviously Flav and a few other Spurs fans, and no one's saying, "Oh, what a talent we've got to lose." There's the other thing saying he maybe had summit, but rising to 18 million. I'm a little bit worried by that price when you consider we've not spent anything this summer. We had the Arnie money coming in and Whelan and Barnes and whatnot. I don't know. For 18 million for a defender, you're expecting a player for the next 10 years for a club of Stoke size. Baffled. I don't know. I can only assume we did it with Mbula, so I'm worried a bit, but time will tell.
We will see. Maybe he'll make his debut against Man United.
Surely he can't be bad for 18.
You say that, you can't, but...
Yeah, I don't know. Time will tell.
Lastly, youngster Josh Tymon. Left back looked very good in the game against Rochdale.
Yeah.
Looked very good in that. Very promising.
Hit the bar.
For me, sooner he replaces Eric Peters, the better.
How old is he?
19, 18.
19. I mean, with all due respect, you can't say that we're being offensive, but with all due respect, it was Rochdale. Not Arsenal, not Man United. So I think there's a few more games to test him out in as we progress. Maybe Bristol City will be a bigger test for him in the next round of the Cup. But yeah, for the brief appearance we've seen him, very, very, very positive. For a 19-year-old, I think we might have something there, but time will tell.
Time will tell. I'd like to see him push on after that performance against Rochdale. Maybe make a few appearances on the bench and push Eric Peters, because
you don't like Eric Peters.
I
think he's had a reasonably solid start to the season. He was whipping in some crosses against Rochdale, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was cracking against West Brom though.
Do you think? I think he's all right. Although, was it him and
he had a good start.
It kind of fought for the goal.
Yeah,
a bit, was it?
He had a good start. I'll give him that. But a lot of fans want to see Eric Peters replaced.
I know they do.
That has been our little mini transfer.
Can we give it, as the old cliche they do in every magazine and internet football site, let's give it a rating, but a grade, like we're in school?
Ooh, I'm going to say B. Just a standard B.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a better feature there. I'm going to give it a B as well. Moving on.
Let me go into depth. In depth.
Sorry.
Yeah,
put that in the comments, actually. Give us a grade,
know.
transfer window dealings.
A to F. Or U. You can get a U, can't you?
Unclassified.
Yeah. A to U. Let us know.
Yeah.
So, also, we did no action incomings on transfer deadline day, but Ryan did sign a new deal, much awaited new deal, until 2021.
Kind of stuck in the back door, that one, a bit, because I was starting to get a tad worried when we got
Vimmer, we were all thought, right,
he's riding off it, and I got the feeling it might be West Brom or something like that. But yeah, it's cool. The biggest question that gave to me was, where are we going to accommodate all these very good centre backs? We've got Vimmer class, Zuma class, Indy class, Ryan
we're playing
class.
3 at the back.
Yeah, we're playing 3 at the back. So I assume Hughes and the management team have got a vague plan of how we incorporate all these players, but I don't know. It's interesting.
I think it could be the case of Zuma going right wing back.
Yeah, it has to be, because I don't see how else we incorporate all these. You don't spend 18 million on Vimmer
and
to not play him. It just doesn't happen. It can't happen. How long's Ryan's contract? 4 years.
2021.
So that's wicked.
Looks like he will end.
He will end his career at Stoke.
Testimonial will be on the way.
Yeah,
because I think he's at 10
it's
years.
now almost, isn't it? It must be.
I think he's at 10 years.
We got him in 2008.
Yeah, it must be coming up to it.
Yeah, it is.
So we had him on loan for the season before, didn't we?
I'm pleased to see that Ryan Lend is kind of time with Stoke. I mean, who knows? He might have a little signing.
Well, he said he wants to end his career at Stoke, which is great to see. And for me, long live Ryan Shawcross.
Long live the captain.
Long live the captain. And after, obviously, the first couple of games, we've lost to Everton narrowly. Would be
the Everton game was very similar to West Brom in hindsight. A bit nothingness, weren't they?
Yeah, very. Then we narrowly beat Arsenal.
Deservedly there.
And then we rescued a draw against West Brom. Has people's trust been renewed in Mark Hughes? I
think the mood around the club is picked up quite a lot. I'm quite happy with Stoke at the moment after quite a depressing summer and depressing end last season. I wanted Hughes to stay, and I said we'll know when it better come the end of September. But yeah, I'm quite happy. I think you're the better person to answer that because you wanted him out. Yeah. How do you feel about him now?
I still think there could have been some more done in the transfer window. I think maybe a lack of, maybe a bit of naivety around some of the positions where he thinks we're strong, where we're actually not. Central midfield is a worry. If we get an injury or someone gets a red card, you're looking at a midfield potentially of Charlie Adam, Joe Allen, or a Jeff Cameron, which I don't think is a great midfield, even as backup.
Yeah,
I don't think Charlie Adams signed a new deal, and he wrote about it in his notes. Did you see this? He wrote in his notes. He signed a new 1 year deal, but put it in his notes, screenshotted the notes, and tweeted that, where he could quite easily have just fitted that onto a tweet. So it was a very weird way of announcing it.
He
also got a bit. He also replied in that format to when Ryan signed his new deal with a picture, and Charlie said, "Why didn't I have a picture?"
Did he?
Yeah.
What was it? He was playing for the check trade thing the other day. Blackburn, wasn't he? I feel a bit bad for Charlie Adam, mate. He gets a lot of stick, but I think he's a good footballer. People accept that to a point. He's done some good things on the pitch that a decent footballer could only do. Chelsea goal, for example. He scored some cracking goals.
Yeah, but he does try that in every single game.
Yeah, one was going to cut off. I think I feel a bit bad for him. I just don't see how he's going to get in the squad, really.
No.
Barring injuries, which I think is a little bit of a shame, because I think he gives us something unique, bit of heart, bit of soul, but yeah.
That sounds a little harsh, but I don't want to see him getting in the squad.
Do you know? I mean, no, I think there's a better first starting midfield out there, but I'm
Cameron,
not too disheartened.
Allen, Fletcher. Who else have we got? Cameron, Allen, Fletcher, all start ahead. Afly when he's back.
Yeah, I don't think he's the worst sub with 20 minutes to go. If we need a wonder ball.
Oh, I don't know. Not too sure on that. But yeah, a lot of people's faith, so to say, has been picked up in Mark Hughes. But I think that is also due to the fact we've got a win two games in.
That was so
which
important.
Which has not happened previously with Mark.
It's a good side as well.
It's a good start. We've obviously got through a round of the cup, which we didn't previously.
Yeah.
So I don't know if everyone's a lot more positive just compared to last season.
I think that the last minute additions of Hesse and Cheapy to a lesser extent really just gave us a bit of a kick up the arse.
Hesse was a pickup. You know, it was a much needed pickup and sort of lift for the fans, no doubt. I'm not gonna just pin all my feelings to the mast though.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still waiting to see. You know, we were only 3 games and 4 games if you count the cup. I'm still waiting to see if Mark Hughes can sort of change to those decisions what were just annoying everyone last season. You know, your substitutions, your tactical changes. We've still got to wait and see what happens there. You know, he did very well at West Brom. I think bringing Crouch on changed the game. He eventually got the goal. Arsenal was a very technical display of defending.
Yeah.
So he's done very, very well so far, but I'm still waiting to see. I'm not gonna say I'm fully a massive Mark Hughes fan.
Yeah, it's difficult because we've got such a difficult start to the season. It's very difficult to judge him on the Man United and Chelsea games coming up. Newcastle and I think Southampton, they're the big ones. When we've got them two out of the way, then we'll really know, I think, what we've got forward going into this season.
And they are by no means easy games.
No.
You know, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
We go on now onto a few news stories because obviously it was the international weekend. We've not got a game to talk about. We've done all little bits. First up, the Premier League are meeting about a 7:30 or 7:45.
7:45, yeah.
Kickoff
on a Saturday night.
I
don't mind that.
You don't?
No, I don't mind that.
But we are one of the fans that travel, Craig. We're going to be stranded in no man's land. What if it's Bournemouth? Then again, no
it'll be alright having that out. I mean, if it's Stoke, we go pop out Hanley after, which would be nice, obviously. Yeah, Revs and all that sort of stuff. Or Castle.
There's two camps.
Yeah.
There's the camps, the people who are saying, no, Sky are ruining football, money. What about us fans? Not going to be able to get home. Trains will be too late. And then there's the camp who are like, yeah, we'll be in the pub. We'll be smashed.
I think it'd be alright. I honestly didn't mind
even
that.
More drunk.
I can see that day already. You'll get in the pubs about 3 to watch the early kickoffs.
3? That's a late start.
Well,
early kickoff.
Well, I'm not that hardcore, you see. But I get in the pubs about 3 o'clock. I think it's alright. I like the fact it's on Saturday still. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Monday night kickoffs at all. The Sunday dinners.
Oh, I love them. A bit of MNF.
Oh,
Gaza and Cara.
No, hate it. I hate that. We've got Brighton away on Monday. Talk about taking the wind out of the game you're excited about.
I was really looking forward to Brighton away. A proper away day, and then it's a Monday night. I'm not even going.
Yeah, the OK always do a little feature. The actual magazine here, which is the decent part of the OK, they always do a little feature called Like My Arse. And they had Brighton been moved to a Monday night in that feature. I thought it was spot on. That's such a shame. But no, football being on Saturday is the most important thing, and I keep it on Saturday in this particular case. And I think it could be. It could work. Yeah, I don't mind this one actually. Don't mind it.
So on a Saturday there could be a 12:30, 3 p.m.s, 5:30, 7:45.
I think it's all right. I think if you had to rank all the Sky traditional fixtures, bottom place is Monday night for you to watch.
Bottom place for me is Friday night.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's almost like your weekend's finished before it started potentially. I think Monday night football, the afternoon kick-off on the Sunday, any Sunday day after that, the early kick-off on a Saturday. I don't mind too much the Friday one because it's quite exciting. Your week of work's finished, goes to the game. Yeah, I'm not. I think it's all right. This, I'll take it.
My bloody screensaver's gone off again.
I'll take it. I really will, and I'm half excited for when Stoke might feature one of these games. Especially, imagine like a quite a glamorous city on a Saturday night. Stoke playing.
What glamorous city?
Well, I don't know. I say glamorous in the sense of a good night out. Manchester's a good night out.
Yeah.
Liverpool's a good night out. London's got its spot if you know where you're going. But that'd be wicked. Imagine that. Seeing Stoke at Man City, Man United away on a Saturday night. Go there.
That has to happen though, Craig.
And then you go out.
That has to happen. Brilliant. What if it's not that? What if it's Burnley on a Saturday night?
Just get the train into Manchester.
Yeah. And for me, by the way, you didn't mention it, the worst kickoff is the 12 o'clock Sunday afternoon.
It's crap, isn't it? We went Watford away last year.
It was like a funeral.
It's just rubbish, isn't it?
Funeral atmosphere.
Well, I mean, we had it against West Brom. Luckily, it's a bank holiday, so there's a bit of kind of, at least you had the day off the next day.
Oh, yeah, that was mint. West Brom was mint. We had beers in the pub after, and you got back, it wasn't so late, and then we went out, and it was bank holiday, and you could do that. But
when you got work the next day,
it's crap.
It's a killer.
Jesus.
Crap.
Jesus. We've also had the story this week that Peter Coates plans to pass it on throughout the family. Wants it to become a dynasty.
Like the Godfather.
Yeah. The club whenever he does hang up his boots.
So it's going to John Coates, isn't it?
John Coates.
I'm a tad worried about this because am I right thinking Denise effectively?
Denise 365. Denise that's her baby, Bet365.
And that's basically where the wealth is with the Coates family, really now, isn't it? Does Peter Coates own the catering thing still he had?
No idea.
Because he used to own the catering thing. That was where he made his original fortune. So I'm a little bit worried that the sad day that Peter Coates does depart, is it going to be a bit of like sibling rivalry with John and Denise? John might want to put a bit of money into Stoke. Denise might. I mean, you probably, I'd say know her, but you know of her better than I do because she used to work for Bet365.
Yeah. Is
she big into the club?
I don't think so. I think she's all about the Bet365. I think it says a lot when we spoke about this previously, but when I was at Ascot just gone, and it was sort of the Stoke box. Mark Hughes was there, Coatesy, and Scholes.
It was John.
John was there.
John Coates was there.
Denise wasn't. So I think there's that sort of group, and she's just dead. And I know that she devotes a lot of her time to Bet365.
Yeah.
I think some people have said she's even set up a sort of flat in the office because she works that hard.
Yeah.
And spends a lot of her time there. So I think that's her thing.
That's true, that is. Yeah, speaking to a mate who works there the other day, actually. I do. I mean, how old's Peter Coates now? Is he 78 or something like that?
I don't know, I can get it up though.
Let's get that on. I do worry about the day that he does leave us, Peter Coates, because I just get the impression that Denise isn't going to show the same devotion.
But it's not going to Denise.
No, but she, to be fair, started Bet365.
79.
So she's ultimately going to have the final say about where the funds are spent. I'm right in thinking. I don't know what John's influence was in the foundation of Bet365. I get the impression it wasn't that great. I don't know. This golden era of Stoke is going to be very, very interesting post Peter Coates. Very interesting.
You reckon? Well, I can 100% never see it being sold as it's in the Coates' possession. Bet365 have got such huge links to the club, the stadium, the naming rights on the shirts.
Yeah.
So I don't think that'll be going anywhere anytime soon. But I mean, like I said before, I post these things on the pages. I get to see a lot of the comments. Someone said, "What if I want to get taken over?" Not me. This is the person comment I'm insinuating.
Yeah.
What if I want us to be taken over by a oil garch or?
I don't like that.
What if I want us to have a load of success? They're going to stop that?
Well, no. I reckon Peter Coates will have his ear to any investors whilst he's still alive, because I bet you he understands what I'm saying. I bet he does think Denise deep down isn't into this as much as John might be. So I wouldn't be surprised if Peter Coates and John are kind of keen to listen to potential offers as the years drag on.
You reckon?
A little bit. I mean, I don't know, I could be wrong. Maybe Denise is well up for it and she's going to pump in millions. She loves the club. I don't know. What do I know?
What do you know?
Nothing, but we'll see.
Next up is a story that you wanted to speak about.
What is it? Nigel Johnson. For those that don't know, I don't think there will be many that don't know, but he's the commentator for Stoke
BBC
City.
Stoke.
associate from BBC Stoke who
commentates. Out wide to on out of it.
I love him. I absolutely love it. And it's his 2000th game commentating on Stoke on Saturday against
First
Man United.
game was 1976.
1976 against West Brom, which I think we lost 5-2, annoyingly. I don't know how I'm annoyed, it was years ago, but whatever. But yeah, it's his 2000th game commentating on Stoke, and my Stoke experience is, it wouldn't be the same without the voice of Nigel Johnson.
My mate Eggy,
love him.
who's now out in Singapore, does an absolutely brilliant impression of him.
Does he?
Yeah.
Get him on.
I'll drop him a message now, see if I get a response by the time the podcast is finished.
Yeah, and I don't know why I want to put on the agenda, just to cheers Nigel Johnson for being the voice of Stoke City, for me anyway, for my 30 years on this planet. I just think he's great, he's passionate about the club, and yeah, all round good egg. Love him. My Stoke games wouldn't be the same without Nigel or Nige.
No, I do Saturday afternoons when it was away games, when my dad generally wouldn't take me when I was younger. That is the voice that I remember.
I can hear him already.
Yeah, that is the voice that I remember. You know, my dad, or when you hear goal or whatever, and it was. Then you'd be like, oh, is it a Stoke goal? Is it the other team's goal?
I loved it. Whenever he did the preview for a game, he'd always end on I forget the term of this. The way he uses this line, but it's like, oh, will it be the Purring Potters or the Chelsea whatevers? It was great. It was really, really good, and absolute legend.
Shout out to Big Nige.
Shout out to Nigel Johnson.
Doing his
era. Love him.
I've messaged my mate for an impression, but he is in Singapore, and I think they are asleep right now.
If we can get Nigel Johnson on the show,
imagine.
Let's do that. I don't know if he's listening. If anyone knows Nigel Johnson and they can get him on the podcast, that'd be amazing.
Would be pretty good.
That'd be amazing.
Let's go to the people's questions. I don't know what that jingle was.
Official jingle.
I think that can's got
the people's questions.
I think that
question time.
Let's have a look. Right.
First up, what have we got?
Is Jamie Unwin. Would you take any of the free agents in Kirchhoff or Bakary Sagna?
Sagna's did a job. I've said it before in the podcast. I'm so rubbish. My football knowledge outside of Stoke is poor, so I'm not fit to answer that question. I'll take over.
Sagna, potentially. I think he'd command too high wages, and I did say that we were looking for a right back, and there's no doubt he's got quality. He's won the league with Man City. I think he's won trophies with Arsenal. Mm-hmm.
Great hair.
He's got no hair now. Shaved it off.
Has he?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can't sign him on hair, unfortunately. Harvey Todd says, do you think Butland should have started for England? Well, yes. Yeah, we all do.
See the start of the
Every
podcast.
single one. A few others about Joe Hart, Jack Butland. How shit does Joe Hart have to become before Jack gets the England number one shit? Good question, because he's already that. So I'm not too sure. Juan Nutt. That can't be a real name. Juan Nutt. Dutton says positives and negatives transfer window. We've pretty much done that
as well.
Jack Klaus says, has Craig managed to pronounce Chupu right yet? Guaranteed.
I don't know.
He put in brackets, guaranteed said it wrong throughout the pod. Anyway,
I don't know. Has he done it phonetically?
No, he's not spelled
He's
it
not.
out.
Well, I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. Well, what do you think it is now? Can you get some stick for this as well?
Chupu.
Why am I getting the bite? It's just Chupu.
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 You're not saying it the way.
Chupu.
Yeah.
Right. Sorted. Chupu. There you go. Whoever that was, Chupu.
That's how I had it phonetically spelled to me. Anyway.
Okay.
Let's have a look. Matt Lewis says, "How's your Hughes out campaign going?"
That's for you? That's not for me.
I guess it must be for me. I've pretty much covered that. Still, jury's slightly out.
Bubbling under the surface, but
yeah,
it's dying down.
Jury's there. I'm still waiting for a couple of games in to see how his tactical nous has changed or improved. The award says, do you think that with the early points we'll have more confidence going into the season, or do you think we'll struggle again?
The only answer to that question is yes, it will give us more confidence. No, I think it'll help us to kick off in the season. So yeah, more confidence, definitely. The whole ground and the club feels a little bit more uplifted after this start, I feel.
And what do you think about the Crouchy comments at the game for Grenfell? Will Mark Hughes be happy with that?
You said this a few times.
Theon.
Some players can do little snidey kick-off comments. Like I think Mbula did some, and Stoke fans in uproar. When Crouchy does it,
it's funny.
We don't take offence because it's Crouchy, but it's the same. General kind of context he's saying. He's having a little dig. I think he'll find it funny. He always does a little cheeky smile on his face. So yeah,
so I'm used to 20 minutes.
And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He scores a lot of goals for us. I feel like he does deserve more minutes. I don't know how, but I think he does.
Ben Stevenson says, "Can you explain to everyone that Zuma isn't a right wing back?"
Can I explain to it?
After we've just touted him maybe for that position.
I don't know. Well, tell us why he's not. I mean, I don't know. His history of positioning. I don't know if he's never played there before. Has he played there before in disaster? I don't know. I just think he looks good on the ball.
And positive. He had those positive examples of driving forward, which always helps.
Yeah, and he's clearly a good defender. So from what I've briefly seen, I can see the qualities at both ends of the pitch, which would suggest that he can potentially do it. But unless I've missed something, no, I can't. I think he might be able to do a job.
And Ian John Mellor lastly says, does the club really want to reach the Europa League with the lack of spending shown this window?
I think this is a consolidation season for Peter Coates. I think he wants to rein Hughes in slightly and see how he does. And if we have a good season, then we'll go again, which is a bit depressing for the whole season. But I think that's where we're up to at the moment. This is a wait-and-see season, which is a very morbid comment.
Just a middle ground season. See if we can get back to top half finish.
Enjoy. Yeah.
Okay.
But time will tell.
Did you have a question of the week or not?
I don't know. I did. Nothing's really jumped out at me. If you got one, they're all solid questions, but
they're all solid. No stand out.
Not really.
Up your questions, people.
Yeah, and I always like it when they do a daft one as well. That's not football related. I always like them ones.
We didn't have a daft one this week.
We don't. That's usually the highlight of the podcast for me, a daft question.
So lastly, Man United this weekend.
They're in form.
Man United
They're firing.
Hitting the ground running.
Yeah.
Lukaku is on fire. Pogba's playing well. Rashford's doing well for England.
It's going to be difficult.
It's going to be a baptism of fire.
And what I ask for Stoke fans, if we do lose, which is a very real possibility, let's be completely honest. Let's not get on the players' backs. Let's be realistic.
Let's make that atmosphere that we did for Arsenal.
If we can do
and
that
we
again.
showed it's a late kick-off, a bit more beer in everyone,
What time is it?
5:30.
5:30 is it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'd take a point now. But you never know. I think the game where we were truly an underdog was Arsenal, and that played into our favour a little bit. It gave the player, Hesse, a bit of space. And I anticipate the same pattern again. Man United will have a lot of the ball, they'll push us back, and who knows, it might just create that little bit. The goal we scored against Arsenal was purely because Arsenal were pushing a bit,
and then we found a bit of space.
We did, and we exploited it because we've got the quality to exploit that space. So touch wood, it'll follow a similar pattern to the Arsenal game, but we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be very, very difficult though. Very difficult.
Well, but they haven't actually won at the Britannia in 4 games.
No,
since 2013.
No, we've got a good record recently.
Got a decent record against Man United. Hopefully, that's we might have some sort of mental block, maybe.
I'm not having that. No, we won't have a mental block. But we'll see.
But it will be very interesting. Jose Mourinho comes back to the Britannia Stadium, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a very feisty match. I can see it going very similar to Arsenal with the possession-wise, and letting them come on to us, defending for our lives, and hoping we get a chance to break and attack and score.
It's going to be awful. It's going to be nerve-wracking and all the rest of it. I'm almost not looking forward to it. Because say we're winning 1-0 with 10 minutes to go. It's just horrible. Every time we're in that position, I just think, why do I follow football? It's just horrible. But I'm going to predict, because it's a Stoke City podcast, that we're going to win 1-0. See Arsenal game for the way it's going to play out.
Okay. I'm going to go for a 1-1.
Okay. Take that as well.
And I'd take that.
That'd be fine.
Very optimistic. That has been the Bear Pit Pod.
I like the end of the agenda. You've just got out.
Out.
Over and out.
Bear Pit out.
Yeah. That's good enough.
That's what I wrote down. So that is Bear Pit Pod. Do go listen. Do go like on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Acast, wherever you are watching / listening. And we will catch you all next week.